Over the past few weeks, I've prepared several videos for you about buying a home in Miami. First, I did step 1 to buying a home in Miami, and then I did step 2 to buying a home in Miami. Today, I'm going to talk to you about step 3 to buying a home in Miami, and I'm going to get started now. Hey everyone, my name's Jamey Prezzi. I'm a real estate agent in Miami. I work with my husband, Ognjen Prezzi, and our team. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the third step to buying a home in Miami. I already did the first step, which I was really focused a lot about the buyer consultation and what you need to know. The second step was more about planning and researching and preparing to come here and actually look at properties. And in today's step, I'm going to talk to you about what happens when you're out looking at properties, you decide to make an offer, and then you go under contract. But first, before I get started, if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another update. We do put out new videos every week. Also, use the link in our information box and download our free relocation guide. In the information box, you can find all of our contact information. So if you'd like to call, text, or email me, that's fine as well. Okay, let's get started. So in the first steps, I was really talking more about preparing to go out to actually look at properties in person. Today, I'm going to talk to you a lot about previewing the properties and what you need to pay attention to. Now, if you are paying with cash, some of these things will apply to you if you just choose for them to apply, because you really can do a lot more things on your own when you're paying cash. When you're getting financing, you are really bound by what your lender requires you to do in terms of insurance, and that's what I'm talking about now. So if you are buying a property and you're paying cash, you can choose to get insurance or not. You can self-insure if you want. It's a conversation that we can have, and I do have this with my cash buyers all the time. But if you are getting financing on a property, you need to make sure that the property is eligible for insurance. Really, the only way that this can be determined 100% is to actually go under contract on the property, order a home inspection, and have the insurance reports prepared and sent over to an insurance agent. Because sometimes sellers have insurance, but maybe that insurance is kind of grandfathered in for the condition of the property at some point in time. But when a whole new policy is issued, that's when things can really be determined and changed and may or may not be insurable. If you are buying in a flood zone, they will also require you to get flood insurance. So a few things that you'll want to pay attention to. If you don't want to pay for flood insurance and you don't want to have that extra expense, try to focus on properties that are not located in flood zones. And we can do this by looking at a map online and we can see. Now, it's important to know that from time to time, those flood zones can change. So it's not set in stone, but we're just talking about right now as you're buying the property in today's market. Things that you'll want to pay attention to if you are price sensitive and you want to be on a budget in terms of insurance expenses. You'll want to pay attention to the roof and the age of the roof and if there are any broken tiles or not. That might be really hard to observe or determine from the ground level, but that's an important factor for insurance and the cost of insurance and if that home is insurable or not. Also, the plumbing, the age of the plumbing and the type of the plumbing, the HVAC systems, the electrical and the age of the electrical, and also the windows and the doors and also the garage door. Sometimes people are very shocked to find out that even if the front door is not rated or impact or does not have a covering, you still cannot get the credit because that one door is not covered and protected. So these are some details that you really want to pay attention to as you're looking at properties. And also, if you see some properties that cost a little bit more because these items were already done, that's why, because people really care about these systems and the age of the systems and the condition of the systems in these homes. And they really add money to your bottom line every single month if they are not updated. So just something to pay attention to. Sometimes people say to me, why doesn't everyone care if the roof is new or not? Well, that's why. And you know, if they've put on a $40,000, $45,000 roof and the property costs a little bit more than the other house that you're looking at where the roof is not new, that's why. So just a few little details that you'll want to pay attention to. All right, so now you've been out looking at properties and you found a property that you really like a lot. One thing that we'll want to do is we'll want to prepare an offer. People here do not do verbal offers. They're not taken seriously. And we'll also need your proof of funds or pre-approval letter. Proof of funds if you're paying cash, pre-approval letter if you are getting financing. And some sellers or their agents even ask for proof of funds to show the money for down payment and closing costs, just to make sure that their seller is covered with a very well-qualified buyer if they choose to accept that offer. So, how do you determine how much you're going to offer on the property? Well, we always like to look at the market trends. We pull the comps of the most similar properties that have sold over the last 6 months. We also really do a deep analysis on the pricing for that property, and we give you the information so that you can make a good decision about making an offer. So you're not just guesstimating based on some information you found online. We will really guide you through that offer process in terms of pricing so that you can feel like you made a strong but really good offer for today's market and for what you feel that the property is worth in today's market. And then once you determine the price, then we will write up an offer on a sales contract. And then once that contract is executed, that's the contract by which the transaction is governed. So we can talk about that separately, but just know that the actual agents here, we're the ones who are filling in the blanks on a sales contract. And then once that contract is executed, we send it over to the title company and go through the process. So a lot of times people ask me about attorneys. Again, that's something that we can talk about in more detail depending on your specific situation and how you want to handle the transaction. But we can talk about that so that you feel comfortable with the process. And then once you're under contract, we send out the executed contract to everyone. We work with the title company and the attorney in preparing all the timelines and the dates. This is actually the process that I mostly do. Ognjen is usually taking our clients out and showing the properties, and I'm actually the one in the office. That's why you always see me in my office. And I am actually guiding our clients through the process of actually going under contract, meeting all your deadlines, and I can help organize vendors and just coordinate all the behind the scenes processes when it comes to actually going under contract and then headed towards closing. I work with the title companies, the attorneys, the inspection companies, the insurance agents, the other agents, and then also obviously the lender if you have a lender that you're working with. It's just important to know that there is a process and there is a way, a very specific way in which people buy and sell real estate in our area. Sometimes people think that it's handled the exact same way as where they're coming from. It may or may not be, but we all have our different ways of practicing business. Even on the west coast of Florida, they do things a little bit differently. I think they even use a different contract. So it's just important to make sure that you're working with someone who is working in the business here every single day so that they can guide you and give you best practices so that you have a smooth and successful transaction. There is a very detailed process. In my buyer checklist, I have over 180 steps to walk our buyers carefully through the process of buying real estate here. And we're always here to help guide you. If you have questions about buying real estate in Miami-Dade or Broward counties, we're always here to be a resource for you. I hope that you found these steps, the first, second, and third steps helpful when it comes to buying real estate in our area. My name's Jamey Prezzi. This is my husband, Ognjen Prezzi. You can find us online on Instagram at the Prezzis, and we will see you soon.